Okay, tonight we're going to work on stuffed zucchini. This is another great way of getting extra vegetables into your family's diet. And zucchini is fairly mild in flavor, so you can mask it and put it in many things. This is even liked by my 12-year-old, and he's not a big vegetable fan. Okay, so we're going to start with the zucchini. When I do the stuffed zucchinis, I try to buy large zucchinis if I can. If I can't, it's fine. It just makes it a little easier for you. The very first thing you need to remember about zucchini, all your vegetables have to be washed with soap and water when you get them, but the zucchini gets sand and grit into the peel, and you really need to get and scrub it, because if you don't, and of course you'd be doing this under the sink, but you need to go ahead and scrub it and really make sure you get that grit. Nobody likes to bite down into gritty vegetables. Okay. So, oops, sorry, I need that back. How you begin this is cutting the zucchini in half. And I'm choosing where to cut here by where it's going to lay the easiest in my pan. I did leave the stem on. I think it looks a little nicer. Definitely gives more stability to the vegetable once you start to scoop out the insides. Okay. These are the insides from these zucchinis that I've already prepared and gotten ready. Alright, so everybody has a melon baller. Mine's an antique, so it's kind of why it looks the way it does, but I love this old melon baller. Probably will use it, I use it for multiple uses, rarely for melon, but for many things like this. So you go in here, it's real simple, and you just start taking out the zucchini. You're saving the insides because it's part of your stuffing. Alright, go all the way down. Now if you don't have a melon baller, you can certainly find other ways. It's just the easiest way. Now I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out. I'm going to take and just go down and make it, think of it like a little canoe, you know? You want to kind of get these, I just like it to be even inside there. Alright, that's it. That's done. Of course, you do the other side as well. Okay, so you take your zucchini that you have hollowed out like little canoes, all right, and the first thing you want to do is mix them with some olive oil. Not a lot, just enough, because before we stuff these, we're going to bake them in the oven a little bit so they're softer. A little salt, a little kosher salt. You always want to season in layers as you're going along. You never want to wait to the very end and try to get all of your seasoning in. My goal, and I'm doing a little fresh ground pepper on these too. My goal is that when people sit down at my dinner table, that they're not having to season anything. That I've done it in such a way that they don't have to add anything. Some water, and I'm going to just pour a little into this pan so that they kind of steam. I already have the oven set at 350, and you don't want it to get up into the zucchini. You just want enough water down in here so that they don't dry out. Okay, this goes in the oven. While this is in the oven, and I'm going to check in at about 10 minutes and see if it's at a fork tenderness that I would like it to be at. Okay, now we're going to go on to the rest of the stuffing. It's very simple. It's the insides of the zucchini, a tomato, an onion, some garlic cloves, and some ground beef that I've already pre-cooked. So you're going to take the ends of your onion off. This is a little technique here for you that we haven't done. I have a garbage bowl that I throw my things in that I'm not going to be using. So cut in half. Peel off your outside. If your family's not a huge onion person, just do half. You don't have to do a whole. You remember every time we're doing one of these recipes that it's not an exact formula, so you have to go by what your family. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting down almost to the back of the onion. You can see where I'm doing that at. I'm kind of making it the size that I want to make sure you move fingers out of the way. Okay, up on its side, down, but not all the way. Now see, I kind of went through there, but it's all right. And one more, which I'll do up on its side. Okay. And down. And you notice my fingers are back kind of in a claw motion, so I'm not cutting off any fingertips. Okay. Kind of gives you a nice even dice. And with what you have left over, don't go too far back. You don't want to take any chances. Using that rocking motion, I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of the onion. Your goal anytime that you're dicing or cutting food is to get your pieces as even as possible so that your cooking time is about the same. You don't want to have some very large chunks and small chunks and everything start at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and I think that's all the onion I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the whole onion this time. I'm going to go ahead and get this onion going before I continue because it will go in first. It takes the longest time to cook out of all the things that we're doing. Start with your vegetables that start the longest, then I'll go back and we'll cut these up, and then the onions will be about the right amount of time. So go over here to your pan, and you always want to turn it on high. Get your pan hot before you put your oil in. To save a little time here, I'm going to break my rule today, and I'm going to go ahead and start. But about 1 tablespoon of oil. That's it. That's all you're going to. This is the only oil we're going to add in here. Okay. Go ahead and drop your onion in there. Give it a little shake in the pan. And if I had had that at temperature, it would have started sizzling right away. This is the ground beef that I've already prepared and drained. This is 95%, 5% fat, which keeps you at an okay saturated fat of 5.6. So for your 4 ounces, this is only about a ½ pound of ground beef. You can add more, and if you like, I also use ground chicken and ground turkey sometimes. But I just happen to have ground beef on hand, and it is very good in the stuffed zucchini. Alright, so the next thing that's going to need to go in the pan is garlic. So I've already peeled it, so you're going to give it a smash, smash, smash. And if you notice I'm doing that, I'm kind of guiding the end, and I'm just rocking it. Same with the garlic. I'm going to. Now you can use a chopper on this instead of chopping it yourself, but you will get a better, there's something about when it goes in a small food processor that it bruises the garlic, and it kind of changes the flavor. So get comfortable with using your knives. Make sure you have a decent knife. You can hear the onions starting to cook over there. And I'm just going to take this in. This is a pretty nice ripe tomato. Probably, honestly, it's too mushy for anything else other than cooking. It's you don't have to have an overripe tomato for this, but it certainly isn't going to. It's going to add a little more flavor with this, and there's no need to have a nice firm tomato in this. Dicing. Careful when I'm getting to the fingers. And I'm going to go over there and check on the onions in a second. And I'm going to show you what I do to keep from adding additional oil while I'm sauteing vegetables. Let's go back over here to the onions. Alright, let's see how they're doing. Alright. I missed chopping that one up there. Okay, they're okay right now. On this, I'm not trying to get brown. I'm trying to get translucent. So, okay, we can go back. I'll add some water to that in a minute when we need to slow down the cooking time. All right, so now the zucchini is not what I would consider a powerhouse of your vitamins and vegetables, but it's a good source of fiber, and it's a very good source of potassium. It also has antioxidants, vitamin C, all those things as well. But I would say potassium and fiber. The other thing that's great about zucchini is that it's low in calories. It's only about 18 calories for an entire cup of zucchini. So it's a great thing to add to to your spaghetti sauces, to your soups, anything like that. Okay, I'm going to drop this garlic next. I'm going to get this over the side. All right, now these zucchini insides, they've got to be chopped up a little bit. Those are too big. So, actually, I'm going to put about half of that back. All right, same thing. I'm just guiding. This is just a rough chop on the zucchini. Zucchini has a lot of moisture content and cooks down quickly and pretty soft. Anytime that you're cooking while you've got things on the stove, just go back over and check every now and then. I'm going to check on the onions right now. Okay. They are starting to get brown. I do not want to add any more oil, and I don't want them to get brown. So, a little browner than I would even really like them to be. So this is where adding the water in when you're trying to control the amount of oil that you're putting in to control calories. And I'm also going to lower my temperature just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to let those get softer. I'm going to go back over here. Right in here. Let me get through this. This is taking too long.